Yo, what's going on, CT connoisseurs, Giga Chads, Giga Women? So today's video is pretty self-explanatory. The top 10 greatest mixed martial arts fights. I think I'm gonna do two parts of these because there are some really good fights out there that I haven't, like put on this list. But I think we can all agree with this list, with this concise list that I deduced with my intelligent large brain. All right. So we're gonna go on the stats of how entertaining it was. Nine out of what was I gonna say? 9 out of 10? No, like out of 10, obviously. Like the entertainingness and how much of a fight it actually was, not just like a single like side domination or whatever. So, getting right into it, I'm not gonna waste your time. Number 10 is Tony Ferguson versus Anthony Pettis. So, excuse me. So we can all agree it's a pretty entertaining fight. It was pretty good overall. This was definitely prime Tony, like long gone are the days. We will never see that man's prime again. I love Tony Ferguson. Anthony Pettis, definitely up there. And yeah, that's number 10. I can't really say, I'm not gonna say much about the fights. I'm just gonna like rank them, obviously. If you guys want me to like make a video of me like going more in depth with the fights, I'll do that, but that's like a lot of work and I'm not trying to do all that. At number 9, we have Nick Diaz versus Takanori Gomi. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I think I got it right. This is definitely one of my favorite fights outside of the UFC. This is the only fight that's outside of the UFC on the list. I'll make a more... In the part 2, in the second part, I'll make more fights like outside the UFC because there's a lot of good fights in the WC, Strikeforce, and Ryzen too. There's a lot of crazy fights there too. So, but for now, it's more of a UFC list. This is the only fight outside the UFC. At number 8, we have the fight that basically shaped the UFC to what it is today. Rest in peace, Stephan Bonner. And we have words. We have Stephan Bonner versus Forrest Griffith. Forrest Griffith? Is it Griffith or Griffin? I'm so sorry. I'm really bad with names. But yeah, that's who happened at number 8. And then I can't really say much about that fight. It was a war though. Like it was an absolute war for sure. I would give it a PSL scale. Why am I saying PSL scale? A PSL scale of like 8.5 out of 10 for sure. And then number 7, we have definitely another fight that we can all agree on was really entertaining. It wasn't just like a one-sided, fuck up or whatever. Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald. Definitely, that was a war. Especially when the rounds started getting more heated. In the beginning, it was a slow start, but that's how like really high technical fights are usually. No, not high technical, but like high level fights are. They're usually starting off slow, just feeling each other out. But third, fourth round, that's when it got like really heated. That's when the fight got really good. Another one of my favorite fights at number 6. Not my favorite. Actually, these are all my favorite, but we can all agree that they're like universally agreed on because I'm right and all of you are wrong, right? So we have Justin Gaethje versus Eddie Alvarez. I think this was Gaethje's first loss in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure. But number 6 is definitely Justin Gaethje versus Eddie Alvarez. Now we're getting at the top 5. Top five. So at number 5, we have Dustin Poirier versus Dan the Hangman Hooker. Dan actually looks like a hooker with all those tattoos now. And we all love Poirier too. I feel like a lot of people are going to give me shit for putting this at number 5, but it's definitely top 5 fights of all time. Just for the wholeness of like the brutality. Just like how brutal it was. Just the sound, just like that era of the UFC was so beautiful, man. I think we can all agree that we all want the Apex back. We all want no crowds back. But no crowds is nice though, but at the same time, you kind of lose the ambience of like the crowd, At number 4, we have Conor McGregor versus Chad Mendes. Wow, when Conor was in his prime. I know people will be like, hey man, but wasn't Chad Mendes like on really short notice? Shut the fuck up, bro. Number 4 is Conor McGregor versus Chad Mendes. Really great fight. This was the first fight where Conor became champ, right? Right? My memory is so hazy right now. I think it's all CTE. But number 4, now we're catching up into the 3 2s and 1s. 3 2s and was. I should have made a 6-7 joke. That would have been so funny. Can I still? No, I can't do it. Okay, number three we have John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson. The first fight, to be specific, that was such a good fight. That was such a good fight. That's the fight that got me into MMA, bro. That's the fight that I love so much, bro. I remember being like 15, 16 years old, seeing it's like, holy crap, these guys are beating the fuck out of each other, bro. That was so cool to me at that time. It still is. It's still a really great fight, but what? But nothing, man. Let's go to number two. Let's go to number two. So we got another Justin Gaethje, start right here. We all know Gaethje is really entertaining, but I gotta give one to Charles, So Charles versus Mr. Bronx versus Justin Gaethje. Wow, that fight was so good. Definitely one of the best rounds in mixed martial arts history. And which fight was that? Nick Diaz versus Paul something. I forgot his surname. But it was a Strikeforce fight. That's another good round. Whoa, but yeah. Now we have a fight that we can all agree on universally is number one. Yuri Prohaska versus Glover Teixeira. This fight was so good. Yuri was just like messing Glover up on the feet. Glover would have dominant positions. And then Yuri ended up finishing the fight with a sub. He subbed the guy who had a more like submission threat to him on the ground. And it was just odd, man. It was just odd. We can all agree if the fight went to a decision, like Yuri would have lost. But Yuri doesn't do that. He's a warrior. He's a samurai. Let's go for that. Let's go through that. So that's my top 10. This is a part 1. I'll make a part 2 for sure. If I can think of any other fights. Yeah, a lot of good fights out there, but I kind of have to make one where everyone universally agree. But yeah, thank you for all being here. We made it to like 17 subs, which is really cool. I don't think the channel will be doing this well. And I got like 700 views in the other video. I'm getting like really good feedback from people too. So I appreciate you all. God bless. And enjoy the rest of your day.